We may be at the Venice Boat Show, but here we have something with Spanish flavour. This is the Astondoa AS8. Astondoa is a family-owned, family-run business based in Alicante, and this model starts at €5 million excluding VAT, which in the context of boats is pretty good value. But the question is, why would you buy this over every other 25-metre Flybridge on the market? Let's go and find out, shall we? I'm Jack Haines. Welcome to Yacht Buyer. If you enjoy our tours, why not subscribe to the Yacht Buyer channel, hit subscribe on the bell icon, you'll be notified every time we upload a new one. Right, let's get on with this tour. Let's kick off at the transom. I like what they've done here with this smoked glass that sort of tilts back towards the cockpit. I think that looks really cool. Down here, of course, you've got a hydraulic bathing platform. It's got a lovely jet drive Ranieri sitting on at the moment, and this just sinks down so you can float this thing off when you want to use it. Through that hatch there is access to a 3-person crew cabin. We're going to look at that later on, so stick with us if you want to see where the crew live on a boat of this size. But for now, let's head up into the cockpit. When the passerelle is out, you can only get up the starboard side of the transom, but on both sides you have these neat covered mooring gear sections, sturdy mooring gear as well, big cleat and a winch, and then when you're not using them you can put these covers down to keep them out of sight. And one of the benefits of going with a yard like Astondoa, where in this model they're only building 3 boats a year, is semi-customization. They can make it very flexible in terms of how the deck spaces actually look. So this particular boat, as you can see, is set up with split tables, but if you wanted a fixed table, you could have it, a sun pad here, a transom bench that faces in this way. It's all up for grabs. But I really like this arrangement. A lot of yards are doing this, having people facing out rather into the boat just makes sense. And there's some really nice detailing here as well, especially overhead. I love the use of wood in this headlining with the spotlights in between. It looks really, really nice. Over on this side, as part of the Flybridge stairs, you've got a 3rd docking station, which has got twin throttle controls and the thrusters. And if we head down the side deck, we'll go and check out the foredeck. There are some really nice details on the side deck. One is that you've got boarding gates on both sides, so if you're alongside a fuel pontoon, for example, you can get off easily from the side deck here. Huge glass area as well, really see the benefit of that inside, and some beautiful craftsmanship. This carbon fibre is all done in-house. In fact, all of it is done in-house. Apart from buying in components, they build everything, furniture, stainless steel, the carbon fibre, it's all done at the factory Alicante, and the level of craftsmanship is lovely. And would you just look at this living space? You know, we see these a lot, but this is genuinely impressive, the amount of comfortable seating you have up here on the foredeck. There's a bit of a step up into this area, but you've got nice details like pop-up lights, cup holders. There's a pram hood as well that pops up at the touch of a button to give you some shade up here. But this is a lovely space to relax. I mean, it is more about relaxing. It's not a great place to dine because the backrest is so far back, but it's a big table. It's not just a token little drinks table. And then forward, you've got pure sunbathing space, but a backrest as well, so people can face into the boat if you do want to have something to eat up there. I talk about the quality. This is lovely, how they've built the fair leads in to the bulwarks here. This nice teak grate that covers up the cleats and the anchor arrangement when you're not using it. That's really smart. But the nicest thing of all is how they've managed to blend the stainless steel and the carbon fibre together, but they've even got the Astondoa logo right into the bow there. That's a really smart detail. Right, let's head to the Flybridge. Now this boat was spec'd by Astondoa's Italian distributor, and they've elected to put nothing back here on the Flybridge, so it's just a huge open space. However, like downstairs, you can do with this area what you want. If you want another table out here, fine, sunbathing space, some loungers, whatever, they'll do it for you. And I would, because this just feels like big empty space really that needs something to make it into an area. Tucked down here, there's a shower in this little box, which means you can cool off up here without having to go down to the bathing platform. And then underneath the cover of the hardtop, which is an option, but it's an option that everybody goes for, and it does include this vane style sunroof. There's a big bar as well, huge amount of countertop here, grill over on this side. I'd personally have the grill next to the sink, just makes it easy to clean, but there you go. We have got 2 fridges and an ice maker though, so it's properly well stocked to serve your guests who will be taking a seat over there. Again, we've got the split tables like we've got downstairs. I think that works really well because you can move between them. but you can open them up and people can dine easily as well. Moving right forward, you've also got a Helm bench, but you've got one over on this side as well, so plenty of people can sit and enjoy the journey looking forward. But I like that you can also relax, put your feet up. There's a cup holder here so I can have my cold bottle of beer right by my side, and if you don't want to be battered by the wind, you can always sit this way if you prefer and take in the view looking aft. Moving to the Helm, it's a fixed bench. It's all fixed actually. A bit more adjustment on all of this would be welcome, but at least it's not miles away from the Helm station. And you know, this is a twin 1900 horsepower boat, tops at about 32 knots, cruises at 25 knots. You're going to be sitting back and just cruising in a straight line. You know, you're not here to chuck it around. It is a cruiser. The Helm station actually reminds me quite a lot of Princess, the way they've used this two-tone colour. It looks like it hovers over the bottom of the dash, but we've got more nice carbon fibre detailing, a couple more cup holders down here for the skipper, and at the end of the day, rather than having to put covers on those screens, the whole shebang, if I find the right button, goes down into the dash. Makes it look a lot cleaner, and it also gives a bit of extra protection to those MFDs. And then just over on this side, you've got quite a nice deep storage locker. Always useful to chuck your phone, sunglasses, things like that in. Good arrangement up here. Let's head downstairs. Moving inside, and once again the AS8 is not conforming to trends. The Galley is not aft, it's not amidships, it's right forward. But we'll get onto that in a moment, because first of all, let's look at this lounge area, which, because the Galley is so far forward, is huge. Lovely big L-shaped sofa over here, enough space for an armchair down here, and obviously that is well positioned to be looking at that television. Good mix of materials too. This is oak, the dark and the light, but the two tones work really nicely together. You've got ebony flooring as well, which adds a really modern feel. Heading forward, big square dining table on this particular boat, but again, if you wanted round or a totally different shape, they do that for you. But this works quite nicely, and it's worth pointing out as well, the day head is just here at the top of the stairs. Pretty useful for guests during the day. Now, onto that forward galley arrangement. You can partition this area up with this door, so you can close it off from the Helm. With the crew are using it, they can close it off and get out through the side door. There are pluses and minuses to a forward galley. Lots of yards don't do this anymore. Pearl still tend to do it. One of the downsides is it's never going to feel quite as big as galleys that are amidships or aft, but the nice thing is it's right next to the Helm. So if you're running this boat yourself and you're on long passages, you're very close to the galley if you want to get supplies. It is getting a bit hot in here though. We've got air vents, but of course you're right by the windscreen, so on a sunny day it does get warm quite quickly. In terms of the layout, well, it's nice that you've got this big wrap of counter that comes around you. It's also a bar too, because there's stools down there. Underneath here you've got things like the dishwasher, there's storage underneath here too, and there's a big amount of storage over on this side, including a full height fridge and freezer. The only thing about this design, this is where the cooker and the oven is that for someone my height, this storage up here and where the ventilation is cuts off my view completely, so I'd be constantly ducking down, try and look back at my guests. Now you can have this completely open plan if you prefer, just have to readjust the furniture a bit, and I think that's the one I'd go for because that really builds into this sociable aspect. Yeah, interesting arrangement. So look at the Helm. Now obviously I've not driven this boat yet, but to me the lower Helm feels like it needs a little bit of work. You've got, you know, the usual stuff, triple MFD, so all of your information is very nicely displayed. Throttles over there, thrusters as well, but look how far away they are from the wheel. And the wheel's fixed, and so is the bench, and it's lower, a lot lower than the bench too. So when you're sitting back in the Helm seat, you're just too far away from everything. Some adjustment would be really useful. The other thing is, you're tucked right in the corner here, so it gives you a very good view forward, no blind spot here, but it means if I want to look aft, I've got to literally do that, or poke my head out the side window there. I know I've got cameras looking out back, but still, some of this boat's rivals where the Helm is more central does give you a better all-round view. Well, that's the main deck. Let's head downstairs and check out the sleeping accommodation. It's a 4-cabin, 4-bathroom arrangement on the AS8. The owner's cabin's behind me there. We're going to go down there in a second, but first we'll start with the guest cabins, and the first one is this double on the starboard side. It's a nice sized cabin this. Space around the bed to get in and out of bed easily. Big amount of hole window as well, so natural light is not an issue. TV in here, bureau, storage up there, and a private bathroom behind the door. Moving out on the opposite side of this hallway, you've got a twin. So it's really well set up for kids or people who aren't a couple, of course. Got a private bathroom as well, and then right forward you find the VIP cabin. What I like about this VIP is that you don't walk into the cabin and straight into the end of the bed. There's floor space when you first walk in, which makes it feel bigger, but it also means you've got somewhere to get changed without bumping into each other. Here on the starboard side is the private ensuite. It's a good size, lovely separate shower cubicle with a rain shower head and beautiful marble detailing in there as well. Storage, excellent. Big hanging lockers on either side, and then drawers underneath the bed. That's always quite nice. You don't have to lift the mattress to get to the storage. Headroom is towering in here. There's no hatch overhead. There's an escape hatch, but there's no skylight, though you have got hull windows on either side. It's a nice space, but it's not quite as nice as the owner's cabin. So let's head there. Now this is quite a cabin. It's not got a walk-in wardrobe, but there's a big cupboard there and there's hanging wardrobe over there. And this is a really nice detail. This floating chaise longue, it sort of hovers over the deck and it's underlit as well, which creates a great effect. And the shape of it is great. You just want to throw yourself in there and sit and gaze out over the water. Big old TV behind me mounted on the wall. Lovely big bed as well. Very easy to move around in this cabin. It's all totally flat floor from the entranceway right into the bathroom. No obstructions. Lovely bureau over here as well with some jewellery storage, drawers down there, and even more hanging storage over on that side. And again, the lighting is lovely. You see the back lighting that runs down behind that wardrobe there, spots in the ceiling, and you've got controls to the blinds and the lighting and chargers all by the bed on both sides. But I think the most impressive part of this cabin is actually the bathroom. Because look at the size of this space. Often on boats like this area behind the bed is split between walk-in wardrobe and bathroom. So, okay, you lose out on some wardrobe space, but for me, the feeling of luxury to have a bathroom like this on a boat this size is fantastic. Space for twin sinks, huge amounts of storage underneath and either side as well. Nice details like these black towel rails. The marble finish is lovely too. And look at the size of the shower cubicle. It's massive with a rain shower head, windows on both sides as well, so great views out when you've got the blinds up. It's absolutely lovely in here. All of this for €5 million base. It's pretty impressive. Let's head through there, because that's where the engine room is. Now you can get to the engine room through a hatch in the cockpit, but you can also get there through the crew cabin. So let's go that way and we can check out the crew cabin on the way through. Right then, the crew space. On this boat, we've got cabins on both sides. This one is a single, but you could have another bunk in there if you wanted to sleep 4 crew on board. They share a split toilet in here and shower cubicle in this one, which is quite nice, because it means you can use them individually, and it's got a nice teak floor as well. Up here you've got washer dryer equipment, a fridge and a sink. On the other side on this boat there's another twin cabin, so you can sleep 3 on board this version, 4 if you have the bunk in there, and then through this door they've got direct access into the engine room. And a nice engine room it is too. That ladder leads up to the hatch of the cockpit that I mentioned earlier on, and these MAN 1900 horsepower V12s are not small engines, but despite that there's still a good amount of space around them. It does feel busy in here because you've got 2 big generators, lots of equipment that comes with an 80-footer, but it's very nicely put together. And this particular boat has got the hydraulic fin stabilizers, not gyroscopes. So you can have an option where you have both, real belt and braces stuff. If you want the gyro for slow speed and the fins for high speed, you can do that. But yeah, very well spec'd engine room and very easy to inspect most of the main components as well. Why would you buy the AS8 over other 80-foot flybridges then? Well, there's a few reasons. One is that you want something that's different to the norm. You won't see many of these boats around, so you've got something that is unique. You want something where you have more control over the design and the layout and the customization, and a boat where you have a more personal relationship with the yard as well. Small team, family run, not building in huge numbers means you have that more intimate relationship. Is it perfect? No, there are areas of improvement in places, but it's nice to see something that's doing things differently and also offers, in context, pretty good value for money as well. But let me know what you think. If you were in the market with 25-metre flybridge, which one would you go for and where would this be on your list? Thank you for watching that tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like and do let me know in the comments what you think about this brand and this boat. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. I'll put some more tours for you up here to enjoy, some sea trials down here, and if you would like to subscribe to the channel, you can do that by clicking up here. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. This is YachtBuyer.